All right, welcome into the coach's corner. Obviously, I am not Sean. It is me again. Sean, unfortunately, had some family stuff to deal with, so I'm covering for him tonight. But we do got the usuals, Ronnie and Snacks in here. How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
It's going. It's been a long week. I'm already ready for Friday.
Whew. I'm just glad the carousel's starting to come to an end.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's that thing's been crazy. I Would y'all say it was as crazy as the Lincoln Riley Brian Kelly year? That one seemed pretty crazy. This one was more crazy, wasn't it? Or
I think this one was more crazy because Brian Kelly that kind of came out of nowhere because everybody was talking about Lincoln coming to LSU and there were a few movers but nothing like this. This was to the bitter end. Nobody knew. You got old boy from ESPN living at Ole Miss trying to figure it out, and the internet won that for sure.
yeah, it's crazy, and we'll get into all that. Got our boy Sean watching. Thank you, Chris, Snacks, and Ronnie. What's up, Sean? We love you, man. Yeah, Ronnie, let's go ahead and I've already given my mini Georgia takes on our previous shows, but you're a resident Georgia Tech guy, and you always give some great stuff on Georgia Tech. I was wrong. I want to eat my crow here too, like I did on the other shows. I said belt to ass, and I was wrong. That was I was very wrong on that. So let us know what was your observations from that on the Georgia Tech side of things.
First off, let me give a shout out to Kennesaw State before we get going on that. Kennesaw State, the first year that they're eligible, bowl eligible, second year FBS, going to their conference championship game, Conference USA, Kennesaw State versus Jacksonville State for the Conference USA chip. So shout out to Kennesaw State. Georgia Tech, Georgia. It was a snoozer of a game. Let's get that out of the way, man. It was. I think, and I didn't really like the atmosphere to start with. I would rather it be on campus. The Benz is a really nice place, man, but it's unless it's like a bowl game or something. I wish that would have been on Georgia Tech's campus. Yeah, they had to make some money though, so because it just got that, I don't know, this kind of dark, gloomy 1 o'clock NFL game look to it, man. But I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just had a gloomy feel. I think I mixed a cocktail and just fell asleep a few times. There was only one touchdown in the game, and that was after Georgia Tech muffed a punt to give them some good field position. But that Georgia Tech defense that disappeared the last month, all of a sudden they're slowing down. I'm not going to say they're slowing down Georgia. What did Georgia have on the line as you're a Georgia fan, besides the pride, what did Georgia have on the line in this game?
Yeah, like you said, pride. Finishing 11-1. Really, that's probably about it.
Because they were still going to go to the SEC championship. I guess it would. So let's say worst case scenario, Georgia loses this football game, and then they end up in the SEC since A&M lost. So then Georgia ends up in the SEC championship game. And let's say they lost there, and now all of a sudden Georgia's sitting in the corner. We're like, are you going to punish us for having 3 losses but losing in the conference championship game when Oklahoma and Vanderbilt and have other two loss SEC teams are sitting on the sideline pretty well, in the playoff? I don't know about Vanderbilt, but it could have got a little spicy for Georgia if they'd had to go to the SEC championship game with that loss under their belt. So, they had to have some type of fire under their ass to play that game too, but It wasn't the most inspired Georgia team that you've seen all year. They had some slow starts early in the season, but like I was telling my man last week, Georgia looks like they've been peaking this time of year. And that's why I don't know what you think as a Georgia fan, but like that Georgia had some slow starts early, and it looks like the last few weeks, I mean, they got it together to where, they have, easily could be put into that top three. I think they had Georgia creeping into that top four with that loss under there, with the Alabama loss. So, Georgia was like peaking, but this Georgia Tech game, if it didn't look like no prime Georgia team in it, but who's to know?
Rivalry game, man.
Yeah.
Now I will say that one spoiler is I am taking Georgia -2.5. That's the only favored team I like in those conference championship games. So I like Georgia -2.5 in a get back game versus Alabama. But the Georgia Georgia game, it was a bit of a snoozer as a Tech fan when they shit the bed versus Pitt. That took a little bit of the steam out of it for me. I guess as a Georgia Tech fan, you go away, you glass half empty, half full scenario. It's like as a Tech fan, you think, wow, at the end of the year, you should be like, well, you won 9 games. I mean, 4 years ago, this program was a dumpster fire under Collins. And, I mean, you could either look at it that Keys took it a long way to get it to this point to where you're disappointed in losing these late games. Or on the flip side, you're like, man, you got off to a blazing start, and all you had to do was take care of business versus Pitt in your own house. Your own house. And you could see it coming. They lost to North Carolina State. That was, the first loss. But then everybody has a bad loss, a lot of these teams. Nobody's perfect, Ohio State, Indiana. And then when they got out there, they're playing a one-win Boston College team, and they're going into the fourth quarter down by 11 points, and they have to pull one out their ass to beat Boston College. You could kind of see the skid happen. And then Pitt finished them off in a game. They really, if you should have they should have looked like they were going to go head busting coming out of that. I mean, you senior night in Atlanta, and all you got to do is beat Pitt in your own house. I mean, they should have looked like, they just didn't look like they had any fire. It was 28-0 before you knew it.
Yeah, Pitt jumped on them real quick in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was early second quarter. It's 28-0, and you're like, wow, we need a miraculous comeback, and they weren't going to get it done. Now, but the Georgia game, it's like they got behind by about a touchdown in the game. Pretty much was Georgia Tech down by 6 or 7. I mean, Georgia was just kind of. I mean, I'd like to hear you. Just give me a little summary of your take as a Georgia fan. Is a win, or are you concerned after that?
I think Snack said it well. It's for me personally, it's a rivalry game. I just throw all the records out, and I don't take too much from it, to be honest with you. I mentioned that tonight on our SEC show. You were right. They seemed like they were peaking at the right time.
Yeah,
and then they won this game, and I just think it was Gunner had a bad day. Bobo, who I've defended at times in the past, I think he would had a really bad day. And I just think, like Snack said, it's just a rivalry game.
Yeah, it's kind of a rivalry.
Yeah.
And I'll even be the first to say this as a Tech fan. It's kind of a rivalry game. I was young when it was kind of a 50-50, almost 60-40. Mm-hmm. But I mean, sometimes it's not a rival when one side doesn't do enough.
It's a hammer and a nail.
Well, I mean, if you talk to a Gen Z Georgia fan, they might tell you Florida's a bigger rival than Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech's only won a couple of them in the last 25. So I mean, no, last year an 8 overtime thriller, but
as a fan of neither one of these teams,
I don't mean to cut, but my point being on this is like the way Georgia thinks of this as a rivalry. It's almost like it's gotten to the point where it's kind of a roadblock on the way to the SEC championship for them. Seems perennially, Georgia perennial, the year after year now. And so, the average Georgia fan, you get, yeah, this is a rival game, but, at the same time, though, you know what I mean? I don't even know that the average Georgia fan even looks at it as much of a rivalry. That Florida game has got to be a bigger deal. Georgia Tech's got to do a little more on their side, but I almost think maybe Georgia played down to them a little bit. Maybe if Georgia Tech was to go on a run, let's say Georgia Tech, imagine the atmosphere. Georgia Tech won about 2 in a row, kind of got a little bit of streak on that. It would bring a little life back into it. I think the 8 overtimes last year, that woke Georgia up.
I think between the 8 overtimes last year, the fact that Pitt was coming off of that Pitt game, you got an intense Georgia Tech. So I think their intensity is just matched. That's what I don't see that Georgia played down to them. It was just you're going to get weird games when you get these rivalries. And I know rivalries is a weird word, especially in college football, because who's LSU's rival? It depends on what era you're talking about. I think that a lot of people are going to say Bama, but that's only Louisiana people that are going to say Bama, because Bama don't look at LSU as a rival anymore, just like what you're talking about with Georgia. But with Georgia Tech being an ascending program and seeing that coming up, I think that Georgia, the Dogs, knew you got to take this team serious. They're coming off a loss. They came ready to play. Georgia Tech coming off a loss was ready to play.
Brent Key's going to have Brent Key will have somebody showing up, but do you think there's a bit of a look ahead to that SEC championship? But they weren't guaranteed to be in it. I guess there were A&M could have won. Like I was telling my man last week, Georgia's having the kind of season where they could have made it to the finish line with just one loss and not even gotten into that SEC championship game. So it's maybe the SEC championship's kind of the hindrance, but I don't know. I could see Georgia coming out like gangbusters. We're talking about a little hiccup versus Georgia Tech. Is Georgia Alabama, is that a rivalry now that's kind of happening? Georgia and Auburn's supposed to be the rival. See, that's another one that
I don't think it's really a rivalry, like in the sense of how you look at, that's the team. I think it's just that they know these two are going to have to deal with each other.
Right. It's gotten lately. These are the two teams that are going to end up at the end of it.
We're going to fix that.
Like you was talking about LSU. LSU and Arkansas, that's natural border, but
that's a hammer and a nail. That's not a rivalry. Sean's not here.
LSU and Florida. LSU, Florida had a thing going for a while when they were both pretty good.
Oh yeah. Now that's a rivalry. If you talk to Jacob Hester or any of the guys from that era of LSU, they'll tell you losing the Florida lock-in game is a big deal. The LSU Florida is a huge thing. That's Florida and Auburn are the two I hate the most.
We had a comment. Somebody has said they were born in 91, grew up hating Florida as the biggest rival. I was born in 88. And Florida is the one for me. I grew up in the era with Steve Spurrier, and it was, we won like 2 games.
He beat everybody. Spurrier was unstoppable.
I have a natural, I'm in that mindset of we can go 1-11, just beat Florida. I don't care. Just beat Florida. Georgia Tech here recently has become a big rival to me myself because of the last 2 years. And that one has definitely creeped up. But for me, it's still always Florida. And I would even say Auburn's number 2 for me.
Well, Georgia-Auburn is the oldest rivalry in the South, and that was the old West crossover. Georgia-Tennessee has been pretty big, And what's crazy, I was listening to Buck Bellew on the radio the other day, their national championship quarterback 1980, and he was like, back when he was in college, besides Georgia Tech, it was like Clemson was like in the 70s into the 80s, Clemson was a big game Georgia played, and I know Georgia revived that one a few years ago, but see Georgia, Alabama getting to play each other a lot in these SEC championships, they're seeing each other a lot, so I think they should be both motivated to play this game. Let me ask you this. If Alabama loses, are they guaranteed a playoff spot, or do they
just fixing to ask Snacks that. Yeah. Snacks, what do you think?
So if Alabama loses, do they make the playoff? I think so. If you're going to say that you're going to put the 12 best teams in there, and you're going to tell me Alabama coming off that loss, that they're not one of the 12 best teams, come on, man. Then the whole thing's a fraud at that point.
Especially if it's your typical Georgia-Bama game.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Sometimes
not going to go out there and just dog walk Georgia by any means. That's not going to happen.
Sometimes, though, the loser of that game, the loser of that SEC championship gets screwed, man.
And not when they're named Alabama. Ask an
Yeah.
LSU fan that's a little bit bitter about it, okay? Because we should.
But see, they would have.
We kind of got screwed on that deal, man.
Yeah. But so
if
Georgia loses, they're still a 2-loss team, and that would really flood it up with 2 loss because you got Texas wanting to make their case as a 3-loss team. So you got Texas and Alabama both.
Do it.
No, Texas, just sit over there and be quiet. You have 3 losses. And the whole thing with 2 losses, look, LSU won a national championship in the BCS era as a 2-loss team. So with the talent being diluted, with the talent being diluted the way NIL has diluted it, it's going to be more of a rarity to see that perfect season or to see nothing but 1-loss teams, especially when you're looking 12 deep. I mean, the Big Ten's got 300 schools in it right now. They're going to beat each other up. I mean, you're not going to get through these super conferences unscathed anymore.
Well, that's what I mean. So, Texas, what they're going to end up doing is saying, well, we ain't going to play Ohio State no more in the regular season if we don't make the playoff off this record with that schedule. So,
and you shouldn't. You should, with the way the conferences are now, as a coach, it does you no good to play that game unless you're needing money.
No.
It does you have nothing to gain by playing those super. Trust me, as an LSU fan, once again, that likes to do ridiculous week 1 matchups. They all they can do is hurt you, really and truly. And this whole thing about we want to come out and be competitive week 1. No, let's go out and beat the brakes off somebody week 1. So like week 3, when it matters,
like the preseason, yes,
we're tuned up.
Clemson this year, right? LSU played Clemson, right? And
we thought we were good back then.
Well, both teams, I remember listening. Who was it? Oh, Joel Klatt. He said Clemson was his preseason national champion in that quarter. But so at the time you played, you thinking, well, we're playing a team that some people think legitimate people could win the national championship. Sometimes these teams just torpedo after a couple losses; they get broke.
And that's a good way to break your team too, because because I mean you lose that week 1 loss, and that could derail your season. I mean, it shouldn't, but I mean that team. Okay, they win a couple of nothing games, and they play their next big game, and they have a loss. Now your whole team starts breaking, and you get fractures in there saying, okay, we're not what we thought. We're a 2-loss team. And then that's still the same. The team you play at week 1 is not the same team you play at week 12. So the losses in there can derail and make a good
Well,
team.
then I got to ask you the question, since you make the point, the team that you are in week 12 ain't the same as week 1 team. So let's say that let's say that Miami and Notre Dame are on the bubble so now they have a head-to-head matchup, but it was August 30th, I believe. So that way back. So I'm a firm believer in head-to-heads matter. And I mean, they played the game; it should matter. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Now let's take your argument. 12 weeks down the line, a lot of people think that Notre Dame's a better team than Miami right now. So what do you think, Notre Dame or Miami? If it has to be,
if I had to pick between the two of them, I'm going to contradict myself. And I would take the team that I'd take Notre Dame. I think they're playing better football right now.
I wanted to say that too, yeah.
And here's the thing, you know what? If Notre Dame, who doesn't have a conference, has a tougher way to get there than you in the ACC, maybe you need to look at your schedule a little differently. Because I mean, what does it really mean to win the ACC now? I mean,
we have a 5-loss team in the conference championship game.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like
it's a pick your poison type thing. The highest ranked of all that ain't even there. So
you're always going to have these talks, though. I mean, back when it was the BCS, which I actually liked the BCS because for all the things it did, for everything that everybody griped about, the top 2 teams played for the championship
every time. Even when it put Alabama in that game that I did not want them in, that I don't want to speak about. They were the best. They were actually the best team in the country. Everybody knew it. We just didn't want to play them. We wanted Oklahoma State to do what they're supposed to do and get there, but it didn't happen. So I would rather argue about the 12th team than the second team. So as long as you got this human element in it, you're always going to have that argument. I think what you have to do is just look at the body of work as a whole. Understand that the team that you're looking at the end isn't the same as the one at the beginning, but you have
you've got data points on what these teams are. And you have to make that call of who the 12 best that you think are right then that are going to make a legit shot to win the whole thing. And if you don't think a team can win the whole thing, don't put them in.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Snacks, do you want to give a takeaway from the Oklahoma LSU game?
Glad it's over. Y'all talked about a snooze fest. I watched a funeral. I mean, good God, that was the death of offensive football. You got one team. I'll give Oklahoma credit. They tried to push the ball down the field. Nobody told them that LSU has got dogs in the secondary. Don't try that. LSU, they had this plan. We're like, we're going to run the ball on first down. We're going to run the ball on second down. We're going to throw it sideways on third down, regardless of down and distance. And if that doesn't work, we're going to just do nothing. We're going to intercept. How do you intercept the ball? Take it to the 3-yard line. And on the first pass, there is literally the quarterback, the receiver, and a man standing directly in between them, and you just throw it right at this guy. Meanwhile, LSU fans have been chanting MVP all year long for Michael Van Buren. There's a reason why he's number 2. And I don't understand what it is with football fans, but the backup quarterback is always the most popular guy in the world. He's a backup for a reason. He transferred. He was a starter at Mississippi State and transferred to be a backup.
Yep.
I mean, that offense just made me so happy that the only thing that made me happy about the game is I know I never have to watch that version of an LSU offense again. And I feel bad for the kids because they've got playmakers at the skill positions. And you have 4 legitimate track stars. I'm not saying that they're like, oh, God, they're fast. No, these are legit NCAA track stars. Berrien Brown, they say, is the fastest player in college football. You're running smoke screens to him, and that's all you do. You don't stretch the field one time. Oklahoma's got a great defense, and all you're doing is making it easier.
Yeah.
I tried to watch film on them, and Matt Flynn actually said this on the History Radio show the other night. He said that he quit watching film on LSU's offense 3 weeks ago because it's not real football.
Dang.
That's the meanest comment I've ever. You're talking about a national championship NFL quarterback telling you you're not even playing football on that side. I don't know what you're doing to the point where I'm not watching.
That is bad. Oh my God.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. And that's what Sloan and Kelly put in place and thought was a great idea. Hey, we've got a vertical passing offense. They'll never guess we're just going to throw it side to side. And actually it worked against Clemson. They didn't expect it. But everybody else did. Then they realized, oh, Nuss can't throw the ball downfield anymore. His abs are torn in half. He's Quinn Ewers part 2, if y'all wonder.
Yeah.
It's the same career. Poor guy.
So Oklahoma to like how many? I'm just wondering how many teams from the SEC are going to make this playoff. So
Oklahoma should not
had the good case because they only had 2 losses with a tough schedule.
They don't have but they're missing half of their team. They only have a defense. They're winning games. You could kick a field goal and win. They have
So you got 2 losses terrible right now. I mean, I wonder how much love Vanderbilt's going to get.
They might get that 12 spot, that little sweetheart pick because it's Vanderbilt and Pavia, and
they actually got the rankings came out tonight, and I think it was Miami 12, Texas 13, Vandy 14.
I'd be fine with that.
So they've already got 3 lost Texas ahead of the 2 lost Vandy. So they're rewarding Texas for playing the game against Ohio State, which I agree with that. Because, I mean, us being fans, I don't want to see those games go away, So I'd rather get a week 1 matchup, Ohio State, Texas, than, Ohio State versus Northeast Michigan or whatever directional school. But
I'm with you as long as it doesn't include LSU.
Yeah. Well,
I'd love to watch y'all's teams play each other week 1.
I want to get y'all's take because I'm in the opinion, I don't know how y'all feel. I'm in the opinion that the ADs and coaches saying this are full of crap and they're not really going to cancel the games.
I don't see them canceling games. That you're talking about money.
Exactly. That's my point.
Thing. You're talking about big money on these big games. Yeah. That's why they happen. That's the whole reason.
Yeah. They're just talking about how they're going to schedule down the line, like whatever. Yeah. They're scheduled. Some of these teams are scheduled out, years in advance.
I don't even.
Oh yeah, no, we still got Clemson week 1.
You got ESPN. ESPN's not going to continue to pay you billions if you're not playing Ohio State versus Texas or.
You got to give a little something. You got to give a little something, But if you got all, you already gonna have a tough conference schedule. When you add a number one, a top 4 team to it, high risk, high reward. I mean, you can be on the bubble, get nudged out of the playoff for losing that game, but you can get a little credit for playing tough in it. But it'll be interesting how they spit it out. I mean, there's no sure. I mean, do y'all have a prediction in the Ohio State Indiana game?
Oh, I got a prediction that I've been saying all year. And that
Say
Ohio
it.
State is going to dog walk, boat race, belt to ass, whatever you want to call it. The fraud check is coming. Because that Ohio State team, hands down, is the best team in college football that I've seen this year. And it's not close.
This is getting clipped and it's going on TikTok. I like that. Yes.
Georgia has played great football throughout the year because Kirby plays great football. Ohio State has played perfect football.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I know they've got losses. They have it, but as far as in a football world, their quarterback, he's a good bus driver, and that's all he has to be. When you've got the weapons around him that he's got, that defense has got 3 possibly top 15 draft picks on it between Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs. You're talking killers at all 3 levels right there. They're going to be hard to beat. And I just don't believe in Mendoza. They're trying to hype that kid up and give him the Heisman, and there's nothing wrong with him. He's a fine quarterback.
He's going to have to win this game. You think he's got to win this?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Because I think
that game gets played before all the votes come in. I'm assuming so that game gets played. You get to see a winner.
It's fraud check season around there. That's what this is. So maybe I'm wrong. I doubt it, but
I hope not, because I'd like to view a close game. But yeah, I could see it though. I could see it.
I want them to go out there and prove and just say we're Ohio State and do what Ohio State is supposed to do, because I am not a fan of we've got money now we're a great football school. I don't like it. And then when the national media and everybody just jumps on them and they're like, oh, this is the greatest thing. And Kurt Cignetti's the best coach to ever live. Yeah, he's good. They're good. Okay.
I lost a lot of respect for Kurt when last year he did all that shit talking, and then he got to the Notre Dame game, and I felt like in that game he coached really scared.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Really conservative. They were really conservative. It was almost like they were coaching to not get beat bad. And I'm like, dude, you did all this trash talking all year, Google me and all this. On game day, and you did all this stuff, and then you coached really scared against Notre Dame. So I don't know
if he does it again against Ohio State. I mean,
he better coach scared against that defense. You go out there taking risk, and they're going to make you pay for them. This is a real team right here. Like I said, they've got 3 early first round picks. Arvell Reese has been being mocked 1-1. Like,
yes, I've seen that too.
That is Michael Parsons that can actually play linebacker. That's what that is. And Sonny Styles is a legit sideline-to-sideline, true 250-pound Mike. And then Downs is everything you want him to be.
Yeah. Well, I got to mention, in honor of Sean, since he's not here, I got to give a quick recap of the Missouri 48, Arkansas 14. I text Sean this morning. I think it was this morning or yesterday morning. And I don't know him like you two know him, but I text him. I said, hey, buddy, I'll be honest. I did not watch this Arkansas-Missouri game. And I said, could you give me a rundown? And the man sent me a couple of emails. I'm not going to read it all, but I thought his bottom line was exactly a good thing to say. Sean said Arkansas lost because they were outcoached, outprepared, out-executed, and outmatched physically and mentally until the program fixes the issues in the trenches, identity, preparation, and overall cultural. Results like this will continue. So Sean's overall thoughts on Arkansas's loss to Missouri, and he seems to be ready for the new era of the new coach to begin.
They got the Memphis coach, right?
Yeah, Silverfield.
Yeah. How did y'all like that hire? Sean in the group chat, I think he's starting to convert a little bit. He's getting over.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid now.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid. I've noticed that. What y'all think?
I don't know. I think that they supposedly had a deal struck with Franklin to begin with right out the gate, but they said that they couldn't afford him and the staff and NIL. That's a problem when you don't have that, because Arkansas's got money. If you don't have the buy-in from your boosters, you got to deal with what you got to deal with. I don't know. He's been successful there, but when you're talking about a G5 guy that I think they're in like 5th place over there right now, I don't see the hype. Now Sean's talking about, oh, he's putting up a fence around Arkansas. No, that's not what happened. Everybody else around you, Sean, put a fence up because we don't want y'all coming over to our areas. We're trying to keep y'all in. It's not. We don't want y'all's people. It's fine. It's just I don't know. It's one of those you're gonna have to wait and see because I don't think anybody knows how he's gonna do at this level. He's already behind the 8 ball, being the situation that Arkansas is in as far as what Sean and them are saying about the NIL situation. It's gonna be it's a tough hill to climb. And Arkansas really, nobody wants to talk about this, but their biggest problems happen when conference realignment happened. So they really should hate Texas for the Longhorn Network and starting all of this because when the big pitch to Arkansas kids and people around there was, hey, you might not be able to play in Texas or whatever, but you can come play in the SEC. You can come to Arkansas, you'll be in the SEC, you'll be in these games. Well, now Texas A&M, Missouri, they're surrounded. Tennessee, everywhere you look, there is a major program right there that if they do have somebody, you got major programs with major money to poach from you. So it's going to be that Arkansas job is a tough hill to climb until the right boosters put the right money in the right places. It's going to be a hard job for anybody.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I said this on the show earlier that we had this evening. He was 27-21 in ACC play, and he was 12-20 versus teams above 500. He was 3-12 versus teams above 500 on the road. And I don't know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always read and seen reports that Memphis, budget-wise for G5, is like one of the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they're expected to win it every year, Memphis, and never do.
Yeah. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of Memphis fans cheerlead him leaving, so they weren't sad.
So
I would have liked to see them go after the coordinator.
Go on the cheap a little bit with that, or I mean,
I think they ran out of options.
Yeah, they ran out of options.
I don't think anybody wants the job. I mean, if that's kind of what I looked at. I mean, Franklin wanted it, but they could, like I said, I could pay you and nobody else. Well, I don't want to go fail there.
Yeah.
So I just really think that they thought they had Golish, and then they didn't have Golish, and they were just the one left without a chair at the end of the song. There was nobody left.
We got to get to the big one because we're 30 minutes into this, and this is the part I've been the most excited about because we have snacks here. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have we got the Lane train just came to town. They're dropping off championship belts and getting ready for what's coming to the SEC. So I hope we're ready for it. I hope y'all are ready for what's about to happen because in the words of T-Bob Abear, Lane is ratchet. LSU, we ratchet. Let's go be ratchet, baby.
I love it. Yeah, man. I just want to give the floor to you. I want to hear all your takes on it from because this is what I said Sunday. I felt like the conversation was more directed on how he left Ole Miss. And I did feel how he left wasn't out of his control, the calendar and all that stuff. But I did think there were some things that he did that I didn't really necessarily agree with. But the football side of it, I think Lane's going to win national championships at LSU. And I'm just curious. I'm going to just give you the floor.
So as far as how he left there, I don't know that we'll ever get the full story of exactly how all that went down. Maybe when ESPN does a 30 for 30 years down the road. But because you hear him say, I wanted to coach, I wanted to be there, that we had a team vote, the team wanted me there, all this. But then you see the videos and of course, he wasn't allowed to be there to tell this team goodbye, which I don't understand that portion from an AD standpoint. Lane has already beat this AD to death, really. And this guy's job, he's going to have a hard time coming back from this, really, because really and truly, that's his position to fix. That's okay. If your coach is leaving and you're the AD and you don't want him to coach, if you want to set a deadline, stick to your deadline. Stick to your guns. Make it a point to say that the university is bigger than one man. Because LSU's about to say that. I got a feeling to one of their coaches right now. But so I blame the AD for the way they handled it. I think you can't really fault a man that wants to coach to the end. LSU just sat back. I'll give LSU a lot of credit on how they handled this. They put you didn't hear anything out of there. Nothing. All you heard was, we want him. We'll let him coach, whatever. We don't care. And they shut up. And that was the best move they could have made. Because I wonder
how much pressure they put on him behind the scenes to, like, hey, man, we don't want to wait. We can't wait for the playoff to end before you to take this job, man, because you got some recruiting to do. And
they required an announcement. They did require LSU. That's the only thing they said was, you don't have to be here. You can coach to the end, but you have to put out a statement saying this is what's happening, so that way they could have their recruiting going. And I think that's pretty fair all the way around. As far as him, there's no good way. Look, man, I remember being an LSU fan when Nick Saban left, and that heartbreak, that's real. I mean, we care about these teams down here. When the guy who builds your team, like Saban built LSU, like Lane has built Ole Miss, when he leaves, you're mad and you're sad, all that, because you know it's coming. Like with Les Miles, I'll give him a lot of credit. He held on to that Saban dynasty for a long time and kept it going and kept LSU at the top. And I don't know that you can do that at Ole Miss. I definitely don't know if you can do that at Ole Miss during the NIL era. Like, because this is a whole new world, and we're going to see how this turns out, like down the road, as far as with the you get the clearinghouse now.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a big reason why Lane did decide that he had to leave Ole Miss. I think when Quinshon left, I think he was like, man, that's what it takes to win. And I think it was just the writing on the wall from that point. But it's there's not a good way, and there's going to be hurt feelings. But you know what it does do? It does give LSU a rival for real now.
Yes,
because that game is in Oxford next year.
Me and my co-host from Thursday's show, we were on the phone before we went live, and he said, "Hey, dude, I don't know. Like, we have no rooting interest. I'm a Georgia fan. He's a Bama fan. We have no rooting interest with LSU or Ole Miss. We legit looked up ticket prices for next year and thinking about going." And
it's gonna be gonna be the ticket to get. It's gonna be
and I've already looked, just so y'all know, the lowest ticket right now is like in the 500s.
Wow,
a year away.
A year away from the LSU game, $500 for the ultimate Ole Miss tickets.
Yeah, so we decided rather quickly we were not going. Unfortunately, because I don't see those tickets getting cheaper. So
we need to get those ordered now.
Yeah,
I'm for the hate.
Oh yeah,
like LSU's been known as a heel of a school. We are definitely the heel now. And when Lane gets out there and basically says, "Hey, look, they had the right money. They got all the money in the world for the players. Now, if you didn't hate LSU before, now's a good time to start." Because I really have a lot of faith in this guy. I liked him 6 years ago. I didn't think he was ready for this stage at that point. I'm glad it went the way it did. To me, this feels a lot like Florida hiring Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
You got this high-powered offense guy coming into a high-powered school that's been a little down, not all the way down, but they're still relevant and they're right there. That's what this has a lot of feel to. And we all know what Urban Meyer did and what he could have done had he not just been so in love with Tebow. He had to quit when Tebow left.
Yeah. I'm one of the rare people that actually like Lane, and I'm just from if I took my Georgia hat off, I am actually really excited for this. I don't know. The Georgia fans, it's funny. I was telling Season this, and he's a LSU fan in our chat, and he lives in Louisiana, and he was kind of surprised by this. But I told him, most Georgia fans have like a kind of like a secret like for LSU.
I think that's the same towards Georgia. Like we just always stay in our little holes. Y'all stay on y'all side. We don't really meet up much. If we do, it matters. It's cool.
There's really no we used to. I don't know how if any of y'all have ever been on message boards, but there's always this game that's played on message boards in the summer where it's the dead of the season, nothing to talk about, and they'll do this whole thing of like, if Georgia quit playing football today, who would y'all root for in the SEC? And almost every answer from the Georgia fan base is LSU. Almost everyone.
Y'all kind of ratchet too, bro.
Yeah, we are very ratchet in here in this. It's in South Georgia and most Georgia, and so I just cannot wait for the first night game with Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge, and that set it off goes off.
Wait,
oh my!
The band's gonna play Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Oh my!
That's that. What's LSU's first night game with Lane? Huh? Oh, it's Clemson.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm there for it. This is going to be,
Yeah, me and my wife's bucket. My wife has zero interest in football. I've shown her a few TikToks of LSU Death Valley at night with when they do the boozy set it off and the crowd goes nuts and they're doing all the. And my wife was like, "I don't really like football." She was like, "Can I be a LSU fan?" And I was like, "Number one, no, or we're gonna get a divorce." I like LSU, but you're with me. You got to stay Georgia. Our bucket list, me and her, and again, this woman has no interest in football. She couldn't tell you most of the mascots, but she has told me, she's like, we are going to go to a night game in Baton Rouge one year.
The only advice I'll give you about that is definitely do it. And number one, if it's a night game, make sure you're in the parking lot no later than 9 a.m. Because that's when
so
tailgating
it's a lot
starts.
like that.
Tailgating starts like there will be people there the night before.
Okay,
At 9 a.m. it's cranking up and everybody's.
Well, I'll tell a funny story before we move on. I'll tell a funny story about LSU fans. So I think my second UGA game I ever went to was LSU versus Georgia in Athens. And it was the year, you may remember Snacks, AJ Green, he caught the ball. He did like an unsportsmanlike. We lost the game. He scored a touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or something, like took it back or something like that. And I was in the stadium. But I remember before the game, we got there about 9 a.m. and we were walking around. It was crowded. And I'll never forget, it's my first introduction to LSU fans. It's 9 o'clock in the morning now. Let me remind everybody. And I walk by, and there's this LSU tent. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And these guys are holding this guy doing a beer keg stand.
Keg stand.
And me and my buddies.
I say we started 9? We started 9.
Yeah. And me and my buddies are looking, and we drank back then. We were all like early 20s, so we were still drinking a lot back then. We looked at each other, and I was like, I couldn't even imagine drinking at 9 a.m. And these guys are already like deep into it. And most Georgia tailgates were still setting up. And these guys were already set up, TVs, food, and about half lit.
They're on schedule. Y'all behind, man. Come on, bro. You got to keep up. No, it's a full day thing. I mean, everywhere we go, they drink 2 times at Vanderbilt, they drank them out of beer. The whole stadium shut it down. I mean, that's impressive. Like Omaha, they love LSU. I mean, look, we're real about who we are. We're Louisiana. We got a few industries. We got some logging. Yeah. We got some oil drilling, and there really ain't nothing else to do here. So we found out to be good at stuff. Drinking and football. We're good at that. Baseball, really. And God bless Jay Johnson.
Yes. Yeah.
But, it's
all right. Well,
situation.
Yeah, it is. Let's go before we get off. Y'all still Rashawn had mentioned he wanted us to bring up the Heisman. He's still pushing for he had sent me an email pushing for Love. Y'all still think yeah.
He's trying to copy me, man. I really think we need to give it retroactively to somebody who got screwed in the past because nobody deserves it. He looked up all the stats on what I was saying last week. I think that the closest quarterback's like 2,000 yards off the last Heisman Trophy winner. Even Jeremiah Love, who's having a great season, he's going to finish the year probably 400 yards off Derrick Henry's number. Now, King Henry's a different beast, but I mean, who's the best player in college football? It's not a quarterback. I'll tell you that. There is no quarterback playing at elite Heisman football level. All you're doing with that is you're ensuring a draft bust. That's what they're doing. If they award any of these quarterbacks that Heisman Trophy, that's going to push them to that 1-1 spot, and the Saints are going to do something stupid. And,
Sean sent this email. This is the email. I know y'all can't read it, but he sent a very long email about Heisman quarterbacks, and he said, Chris, check this out. There ain't no damn way a quarterback should win the Heisman this year.
He just want to beat me so bad. It's cool though. It's all right. I get it. But no, I really don't. I mean, Love's looked the best to me. I'm gonna ask my son. We're gonna ask the audience, Caden, if you had to give the Heisman to somebody today, who was it gonna be? He just shook his head and said he ain't giving it to nobody.
Just scrap it this year.
Just give it to Tyrann Mathieu. Give it to the Honey Badger.
Usually there's like a clear-cut winner, or usually there's some guy that's in the lead in the preseason, and he either takes it wire to wire or somebody knocks him off. But this year, I ain't seen nobody really just step up and grab it this year. And there's been times for the taking. Like, as far as a moment, like, I know Sean went crazy. Like, when Indiana beat Penn State in the end of that game, and that guy made that catch on 4th down in the back of the end zone, that was kind of a Heisman moment for Mendoza. But then he was still playing like a mid game. His game was kind of mid, you know.
He threw a bad pass that the receiver made a great catch on, and they said
that's what I mean. His Heisman moment came from a great catch by the receiver, though. Yeah, you know. So I mean, is Pavia still on the list of candidates?
I think he's got to be. I don't like that a 52-year-old can win the Heisman, but I mean, that's if Pavi is the best, if that's who you think the best, yeah, I think, but nobody's clearly pulled away
because
from
I
him.
guess Reed has played his way out, right?
Yeah.
He had his
played-
shot. The path for him was he was going to win out,
Yep.
win the SEC, and do big things, and
Yeah.
he
'Cause I don't-
did that.
I mean,
I don't know if y'all
obviously,
seen it. I don't know if
obviously
y'all seen
Haynes King played his way out. Reed played his way out. Gunnar Stockton. They
Yeah,
never
his
really
chance
made him.
too.
I always, when I think about Gunnar Stockton, it seems like they kind of think of him as a next year guy. He's a next year, and even when he started to cook, he didn't. His name ought to be there early next year and see what
Fair
happens.
enough, yeah.
But because he started to cook a little bit this year, man. They weren't going to put like I keep saying, they want to give it to Mendoza. That's who they seem like they want to give it to.
Absolutely.
That's who they want to give it to. Now, they would love for him to beat Ohio State and pull that upset. That way they really could just hand it to him the next week. So, I mean, does it come down to the winner of that? Are they going to try to give it to the winning quarterback of the Ohio State?
If they've got it locked in that they're going to give it to a quarterback, that's basically going to the winner of that game.
It's going to the winner of that game. You can usually kind of understand where they're leaning based on their Twitter, because a lot of the media on Twitter is voters for it. And the sense I've gotten the last couple of weeks, it's all coming down to that Big Ten game.
I really think it's going to come down to stat lines, period, because a lot of these voters, that's all they see is stat lines. It. And that's what's killing these guys is that the interceptions are up, the touchdowns are down, yardage across the league is way down. So as far as passing games, but so it's kind of like that. And let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think NIL is playing into this with the dilution of talent to make it where you don't have these guys that can stand out because you don't have the talent around them? That's kind of what I think. This might be our new norm.
Like you walk out on the field and the team you're playing, there's a pretty good team, but not one person on that team could start for your team. And I mean,
you think back to the LSU teams and the Bama teams when you got 5 stars sitting on the bench for 2 years, and it takes you that long to get there. Well, you've got all these guys coming up with you, so your ceiling is so high that's where you get the Jalen Hurts, playing like he was playing Tua, and those guys doing it at that level. You get to the NFL, you see they aren't exactly that. But
yes,
I think now with the talent being diluted so poor, because really what you're watching is a bunch of mid-level football in college now because nobody's great anymore. You got 2 really good teams and then a bunch of okay teams, and then teams that are terrible. And that's what happens when you spread money around.
Yeah, you won't. I don't think we'll ever, at least in my lifetime, I don't think we'll ever see another 2019 LSU.
God, I hope so. That was so pretty.
It was. Like, I don't think.
You know what? I got to give Sean a little credit right quick. When that happened, Sean was coaching, and he called me, and this was the week right after the Texas game with the big 3rd and 16 Jefferson play and all that. Yeah. And he called and he's like, I just want to congratulate you. I was like, oh, man, that's a good team right there. He's like, that's the best team in football. You're winning the national championship. You're beating Alabama, and your quarterback's going to win the Heisman. I was like, shut up, dude. He's like, because Chris, I'm not playing. The kid makes the balls out of his hand in 2.5 seconds. He's got the right read in 2.2 seconds. You can't stop him. And now keep in mind, this is week 3. I'm like, yeah, you know ball. You don't know that ball. No, he was right.
Yeah.
He was on it. That guy was unreal. That team was unreal.
Oh man,
no, I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I think today was a perfect. I don't pay much attention to recruiting like I used to, but I do pay attention to big dogs that like in our classes and stuff like that. But I mean, we just saw a 5-star quarterback flip from Georgia to Vandy, #1 quarterback in the country, and
Bryce Underwood is the reason I no longer care about recruiting because it doesn't matter.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
Just take the bag with that level. Whoever just take the biggest bag.
I mean, so Rivals and all them, you can cancel my subscription. I don't care about the recruits. People are coming at me today. I'm on the job, and he's like, "Man, we're losing this recruit." I don't care because
the way the transfer portal is too. I mean, the guy that you recruit as a freshman, who knows if he's going to be there by the end of it?
We had 2 that played this year.
Yeah, I mean,
2 players, DJ Pickett and our running back, Harlan Berry. That's it.
Well, let me ask you a quick question before we get out of here. Just kind of like a detail as far as LSU goes. you know how much talent's on that roster. You said that there's speedster receivers. So good play. Just real like when the new coach comes in there, as soon as he gets in there, when Lane gets to LSU, what percentage of that roster that's there now do you think stays, and what percentage will be his transfer portal players? Like what percentage of it's ready made right now as he walks in the door?
Percentage wise, your defense
You don't
is
think
fine.
anybody's going to leave because he's coming, right? Nobody's going to transfer out of there.
You saw when Brian Kelly was fired, nobody decommitted. I mean, that says a lot. Now, what you got to worry about with LSU, and this is what I was talking about earlier, Frank Wilson, the interim head coach. He's a New Orleans native, coached high school football in New Orleans, and Louisiana's a weird place to recruit. If you're not from there, you're not going to get there. When BK came to town, he ran off two people that doomed him from the start. He ran off Frank Wilson and our defensive back coach, Corey Raymond. Corey Raymond is the godfather of DBU. He went to Florida. He's back at LSU. Now, both those guys are back. The problem is Frank Wilson is your running backs coach. Kevin Smith is a former NFL running back from the Detroit Lions. Kevin Smith has been his running back coach for like 9 years. So he's bringing him in. He's bringing his wide receivers coach in too. So you don't really have a spot on the sideline for Frank Wilson. Frank doesn't want to do anything other than being on the field coach. You don't want an analyst role or anything like that. That's a problem because this man who's been crying in the press conference talking about LSU's a special place and I love LSU. Now today he's telling his recruits, I don't know if I'm going to be here. Hold tight. Fire him. Run him right now. Get it up. You cannot have coordinators that are lifelong coordinators that had head coach shots and have terrible losing records as a head coach. You can't let that man hold you handicapped. You got to figure out how to recruit New Orleans. I don't care. It can't be that hard. Lane will get that done. Keep Corey Raymond. That's the most important thing to me. Keep Corey Raymond. Blake Baker, if he stays, great. I hope he does. I think Lane wants him to. But you got to keep that staff inside so that you don't have to worry about the defense. If you keep that staff, the defense is fine. Now, you're talking about percentage. The line will be fine. You got to get some better coaching up there. You got to find a quarterback, which if Chambliss comes, which there's some talk around him getting that eligibility year, and if what I heard is true, he should get it because I believe he missed one of his years he was hurt and should have gotten a medical for. So if you bring that in, that's fine. So I think you're looking at probably about a 85% ready-made team. There's going to be some attrition, like just natural, and that's fine. You got your receivers are you're going to have 3 receivers.
So he'll get a lot of guys staying, and then that other 15% will just what he needs to. If there's a position that needs improvement, he'll bring a few of his transfer guys, like you said, probably bring his quarterback with him, and then LSU.
All of that'll balance out. Mm-hmm. As long as you can recruit Louisiana, you're fine. Louisiana's got so much talent, and Lane will be able to recruit Louisiana, and they'll be fine.
And what I've told people this, I did a TikTok live and I got so much hate for this. I don't know what Ronnie feels. Snacks will agree with me, but I got so much hate on a TikTok live once. I called LSU the best job in the country. And
I think it is.
The reason I said that was because, I live in Georgia. We have a lot of people that move to Georgia. So these kids here, you got a lot of kids that are raised Georgia fans, but particularly where I live in South Georgia, where we're like an hour from the Florida border, we're mixed with a lot of different fans. But I've been to Louisiana several times while traveling for work and for family vacations to go to Texas and all that to see my family. I have some friends in Louisiana. Them people, and Snacks probably can say, can confirm it. They're born like you're a tiger, period.
No, there is nothing else.
There's nothing else.
There's nothing else. My wife went to Arkansas. I had to get permission for that to happen, for us to be together. I mean, that doesn't happen. You can't do that. It's the only in-state Power 5 school, Power 4 school.
Yeah.
And if you look at NFL players, what state per capita produces the most, it's Louisiana by far. The amount of NFL talent that you're talking about comes out of the state. It's really crazy, but it comes again from lack of other options. Like there's not a lot to do in Louisiana. I love my state. It is what it is, but we have athletes here. And football is taken serious at a very young age, and it's what we do. And as far as a LSU fan to a Georgia fan, I just want to say thank you that y'all's guys travel so well. I really like the Weeks guys. Appreciate those 3. That was a very nice gift. We'll take good care of them out here.
Yeah. We appreciate that. You taking care of them all.
Yeah, they're good guys. They're good fellas. We like them a lot.
They are. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, I hope Sean's back next week. I did enjoy this, but your boys got to get up at 4:30. So yeah, I get up at 4:30 every morning, go to work, and I'm not used to. Usually, I'm asleep, not because y'all boring. I'm asleep halfway through the show because I'm exhausted, and then I usually catch the rest of it. I'll watch it while I'm laying down, and I'll catch the rest when I go in the morning. So while I'm getting ready for work, so it was fun. Hopefully, for the people that are watching, Sean will be back next week. Hopefully, I did good enough. Snacks, we'll check y'all out next week, man.
All right, have a good one.